What's up, everybody? Today I want to talk about Jayson Tatum and the narrative surrounding him that he is not a player that can lead a team to an NBA championship. I've heard this take from different ESPN personalities and other major media outlets, and it has bothered me for some time and for most of this season, actually. I think we forget sometimes that Jayson Tatum is still only 25 years old. He has been so good for so long that it's easy to forget that he isn't even in his physical prime yet. If you look at other NBA stars, Luka is only 24 years old, around the same age as Jayson Tatum, and has not even made a finals appearance, but no one faults him for falling short of a championship. While Jayson Tatum has made a finals appearance in his age 23 season and gets criticized that he's not a winner and cannot lead a team to a deep playoff run. LeBron James didn't win a championship until he was 27 years old, and Michael Jordan was 28 when he won his first one and still ended up with 6 championships. MJ and Bron are considered the 2 best players of all time by a majority of basketball fans and are definitely considered winners. And we have to give Tatum time to win a championship, especially with how close he's come and with his resume that he's piled up over his career. He has definitely led his team a lot farther than a lot of other stars have throughout the first 5 or 6 years of their career, but we don't give him the same credit that we have with a lot of other different players because of different biases and different narratives that have surrounded him throughout the early part of his career. If you look at Tatum's career objectively, you have to admit that he has an elite resume for a 25-year-old. He has made 4 conference finals appearances, including a finals appearance, and took a peak LeBron to Game 7 in the Eastern Conference Finals and went toe-to-toe with Bron in that Game 7 at only 19 years old. He scored 25 points per game or more each of the last 4 seasons and 20 or more the past 5 seasons. Statistically, he is a great player, and he has also been the best player on a team that has made multiple deep playoff runs and is consistently talked about as a top team in the league. This year, he is averaging 27 points, 8.5 rebounds, and 4.5 assists per game, as well as being an elite defender and shooting the ball efficiently. He is constantly in the running for defensive teams throughout his career, and is considered to be one of the best scorers in the league. Last year, he averaged 30 points a game and on good efficiencies, and the only reason his scoring has taken a step back this year is because he's been willing to share the ball a lot more with his new teammates in Kristaps Porzingis and Jrue Holiday. Tatum has also been an incredible teammate and leader throughout his career and has shown a lot of leadership and maturity on these Celtics teams that had made deep playoff runs. This year, the already elite Celtics added 2 more stars in the guys I just mentioned in Jrue Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis, and both of these guys are used to getting a lot of shots, but they come to a team where there are others who need shots in Tatum and Jaylen Brown and Derek White. Tatum is still the best player on the court, and at the end of the day, he's still going to get the shots at the end of the game, and the ball will be in his hands in clutch time, but he has taken a role of playing facilitator and even decoy at times and getting his teammates involved and allowing them to get hot. Just the other day, I saw him pass up the ball and in clutch time to Kristaps Porzingis, who was hot, and Kristaps ended up with 38 points and they ended up winning the game. And that's a trait that you don't see from a lot of players in the league, especially a younger player who's only 25 years old. And Tatum has shown a lot of maturity and leadership in his role in the Celtics, and he knows that at the end of the day, it's about wins instead of personal statistics. And you see a lot of guys in the NBA, for example, a guy like Trae Young, who it doesn't matter if a teammate is hot and he's having a poor game from the field, he will still continue to jack up shots even when his shot is not falling. And he can have a tendency to shoot his team out of games a lot of the time. And that occurs even when a guy like DeJounte Murray or formerly John Collins, who used to be on that team, would be hot. He would still have to have the ball at the end of the game. But with Tatum, if he knows that he's not hot, he will try to get his teammates involved, and at the end of the day, he still is the best player. So if there's a game-winning shot opportunity, he will still have the ball in his hands most likely, but he knows when to make the right play. And if he sees a lot of attention, he has the IQ and maturity to be able to swing the ball to someone else and give them a chance to put the team in the best opportunity to win. And that's a trait that I really think sets him apart and puts him ahead of a lot of people his own age. And I think this is the biggest thing that just allows him to be someone who can be a number one leader and option on a championship winning team, because the team isn't all about him. It's about getting wins. And with him not caring as much about stats, and of course, you're going to try to get your stats. All-star appearances are nice. All-NBA appearances are nice. And you want to get your personal accolades and personal stats. And if he scores a 50-point game, of course, he's going to be happy about it. But at the end of the day, if he scores 23 points and Kristaps Porzingis scores 42 and they win the game, he will be happy either way. And this is a big area of his game that has been really solid throughout his career. And it's an area where I see a lot of other young stars and stars in general just lack the maturity to develop this part of their game and this level of maturity, to where if you look at a guy like Trae Young, like I mentioned before, or even a guy like Luka Doncic over in Dallas, the offense has to run through them at all times, and they do not let anybody else touch the ball. And even if a teammate gets hot in the first half, they will take over the game in the second half. And like I said before, they could shoot a team out of a game. And that's why I don't believe in either of those players as much as I do Tatum to go to a finals and win the finals, because of this unselfish attitude and team first behavior that I've seen Tatum exhibit throughout his entire NBA career. He has always put the team first, even when he was a 19-year-old going up against LeBron, but he doesn't back down, and he will always rise to the occasion and rise to the challenge. And even in the one series against the Warriors in the finals, where he didn't necessarily play his best, he still was willing to defer to Jaylen Brown when he was having an off game. And unfortunately, he had a lot of those off games in the finals, but he was only 23 years old at that point, and still miles ahead of where many players are at that stage of their development and at that age. And I really do think that Jayson Tatum is a player that can really lead a team to multiple championships, not just one, but I think he could be a player that by the end of his career has led his team to 2 to 3 championships and will go down as one of the best players of this generation for sure. He's an elite scorer, plays very above average defense, and is growing as a facilitator and as an all-around player. He's one of the best all-around players in the NBA right now, and there's only a few players that I would take above him both this season and for the next 10 years. I think he's a really special player. I think the Celtics are a team that will definitely go far this year, and I have them as my favorites in the entire NBA to win the championship this year. And with Jayson Tatum, I think they're set at the superstar position for the next 10 years. And I know a lot of people will give him grief because he's had Jaylen Brown, he's had a running mate throughout his entire career, and this year he has a fairly stacked lineup, but every superstar needs to be able to adjust to having a super team. We've seen quote-unquote super teams not work out before. We've seen the Nets recently, we've seen the Suns this year just not work out, and I think that Jayson Tatum is a perfect superstar to lead this team to a championship. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comments down below. God bless you all. I hope you have an amazing day, and make sure to subscribe to the channel because I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by April. God bless.